Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. This is very funny to me. Let me see something. Now, the NFL world is basically debating Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott, in Skip's words, versus Michael Vick. Now, from the article, it says, in many ways, the careers of quarterbacks Dak Prescott and Michael Vick could hardly be more different. Today, the NFL decided it's time to compare the careers of the two. A tweet has been going viral this afternoon stating, seemingly as fact, that Prescott is already a better quarterback than Vick, and in some ways that is true. Through 6 seasons, Prescott has significantly better completion percentage, more completions and fewer attempts, and more touchdown passes than Vick has. Vick had half as many touchdowns and more interceptions through his first 6 seasons. But NFL's fans believe almost universally that Vick was the better quarterback. Going to Twitter, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone showing support for Prescott over Vick. One guy on Twitter, Polo Como or at Adam Como, delete this please. It's not even close. It's Vick. You have Najaya Strange, which is at Najada SHIT. Who the hell is picking Dak? And SB with a Jamaican flag and some zodiac sign next to him and money with feathers on it. At Ghost from Power said, Vick would have won a ring with that roster already. Rocky Sites at Sites Rocky, that's SITES Rocky. Dumbest question ever, just starving for content, I see. Vick. It's no big secret that Michael Vick was far from a polished passer as a member of the Atlanta Falcons, but that didn't stop him from leading the Falcons to the playoffs twice and making the Pro Bowl 3 times in his first 6 seasons. And when Vick became the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2010, he turned the Eagles' offense into a juggernaut. It's no surprise then that NFL fans are convinced that Vick would have done more with what Dak Prescott currently has. Vick was a trailblazer as a mobile quarterback, setting tons of records during his 13-year career. He remains a controversial figure for his off-the-field behavior, though, and a bust in Cannon seems like a pipe dream. But this might still be a question worth revisiting in a few years. Okay, look, this is my thing, okay? Why is it that the media loves to like compare black quarterbacks with black quarterbacks? Dak Prescott and Michael Vick are two different quarterbacks. Okay, I repeat, two different quarterbacks. Now everybody's like, well, pull up the numbers. Well, of course, Dak is the better passer, but he's the better passer because Michael Vick never had a number 1 or number 2 receiver. His number 1 receiver was Algie Crumpler. If y'all remember, Algie Crumpler was good. Michael Jenkins would drop the ball certain times, but it's funny to me he turned around when he played with Matt Ryan. So my thing is this. This is no diss, but Michael Vick was a way better leader than Dak Prescott. That game against the 49ers, Michael Vick would not have lost that game. Okay? Okay? So to even bring this up to me is a disrespect to to Michael Vick. You know, Michael Vick revolutionized the quarterback position. You know, I think a lot of people forget how great Michael Vick was, how impactful he was. Michael Vick got to the second round. I believe he got to the second round twice. He went into Green Bay. He was really the only quarterback in history on the road to win in Lambeau Field during the seeding, you know, of the seeding he was at. I believe that's what it was. I gotta look that up. So people are doing this for dumbness. Dak Prescott has underachieved for the weapons that he's been given the past 4 or 5 years. And in the playoffs, Michael Vick was a lot better in the playoffs than Dak Prescott. Now, early on, Michael Vick, in my opinion, has a stronger arm than Dak. He could throw the ball deeper, and plus the rules at the time were different. They protect quarterbacks more now than they did when Vick was playing. They treated Vick like a running back and almost cost Michael Vick his career. Almost cost the boy his career. So I just don't see where you would say, if we're talking about pure passer of the ball, Dak can throw the ball like the short routes, the medium routes. Michael Vick was, as far as impactful, he was a lot better. He made the game the way that it is. He's the reason why guys like Lamar, Deshaun Watson, all of these guys are the children of Michael Vick. Just like when Vick was coming up, Randall Cunningham was the father of him. Like Cam Newton and all of them. They are a product of Michael Vick. Vick revolutionized the game. He's the reason college is the way it is now. You got all these athletes that are running the ball from the quarterback position. And they're being successful. They're really successful. But yet, the only reason Michael Vick has been disrespected is because he fought dogs. like he was the only guy who fought dogs in history. Dak Prescott, after the last game he lost, left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So I'm sorry to say Dak Prescott has a long way to go before he's back in my good graces. Because that was mad disrespectful what he did and what he said. Dak Prescott in the clutch. Michael Vick was more clutch than Dak Prescott. If you remember the long run against Minnesota, he broke down the middle. The win against the Packers, the big win, the big wins in the playoffs where he got to the second round twice, made 3 Pro Bowls. And plus, the teams that Michael Vick had were mainly built like Lamar Jackson's team. Like the Baltimore Ravens are built like the Falcons were, like heavy defense, running backs, and tight ends. Michael Vick would have been on a trajectory to win. He had the league in his hand. If he would have never had that dog case, Michael Vick was fine. He was going to win a Super Bowl. He had the highest selling jersey out of Tom Brady, who was winning Super Bowls. He had a higher selling jersey than him. Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, all of them. Michael Vick was crushing all of them. Dak has never outsold anybody. Wide receivers, Michael Jenkins at the time compared to Amari and CeeDee Lamb. Come on, that's not even close. He's had tight ends, Jarwin, and now this other guy, Schultz. Those guys are them and Algie Crumpler about the same. Running game wise, I think Vick had a better running game. Ward, Dunn, and Duckett were better than Ezekiel Elliott, in my opinion. Ezekiel probably was better than Duckett. I don't think he was better than Dunn. And defensively, I believe Dak had a better defense than Atlanta had. Atlanta really didn't have a raw defense. Michael Vick was willing that team to win, and he was getting hated on by Skip Baseless. You already know Skip gonna find a way to hate on the brother. He gonna like a few brothers, but he gotta ultimately hate on the brother. Right? Right? So it is what it is, man. It's no ill will. But let's look up the let's look it up. I've always loved to look it up. Had to change that screen. I destroyed what's his name? I destroyed Strictly earlier trying to tell me about Steph. Steph didn't start shooting threes like that until his 6th or 7th year. I'm trying to tell him, bro, what are you talking about? Sometimes you gotta spank your children, man. You gotta spank them sometimes, man. Nothing against them, but you gotta spank them sometimes. All right. Dak Prescott. All right. Now let's see. Where's his shit at? Okay. Now, let's see. Michael Vick's career is he played in 143 games. Okay. His QB record was 61, 51, and 1. Not bad. 56% completion rating. He threw for 22,464 yards. He averaged 7 yards per throw, 133 TDs to 88 interceptions. Now his first years in Atlanta, His first year, he only played 8 games, started two. Remember he played near the end. Now, his second year, he played all 15 games. He was 8-6-1. His completion and rating to attempts was 231 to 421. 55% completion rating. He threw for 2,936 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4% 8 interceptions. Let's see. His QB rating, was 82, which is good. He was AP. He was voted fourth in the MVP discussion. Now, the third season he played, he got hurt. That was the Madden curse. Now, 2004, he came back, played 15 games. He was 11-4. He was 181 of 321, had a 56% completion rating, threw for 2,313 yards. 14 touchdowns to 12 picks. Rating was a 78. Because they didn't add QBR until 2006, which I think QBR is the most dumbest stat in history. They just use that to try to minimize people now. Okay, now let's see. Um, yeah, and he had 11-4 record, which is good. That's not bad. 2006, they did not make the playoffs. He was 7-9. He played 16 games, 16 started, 7-9, 204, 388, 53%, 2,474, 20 TDs to 13 picks. His QB rating was 76, which isn't bad. That's way above average. So now let's look at fourth quarter comebacks. He had 2 in 2002. He had 1 in 03. He had 3 in 04. And game winning drives, he had 4. And then he had 2. 1 and 1. Now, I'm just doing his first 6 seasons. Because I don't think Dak's played that long. Yeah, Dak ain't played that long. So we're just comparing their first 6 seasons. Now, let's look at his rushing. His second year, he had 15 games played. Ooh, that was a nasty move. Now rushing, he had 15 games played, 15 games started. He rushed for 113 attempts, 777 yards, 8 touchdowns, had 7 yards per average. Excuse me, 52 yards per game. Had 8 TDs. He had 8 rushing and receiving touchdowns. He had 9 fumbles. Now, in 2004, he had 120 rushing, attempts for 902 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he had 16 fumbles that year. So 05, he rushed attempt 102 to 597. 6 TDs, had 11 fumbles that year. And in 06, he had 16 games played. He had over 1,039 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. He only had 9 fumbles that year. So, I mean, like I said, that was him. And I'm only doing the first 6 years because, Dak hasn't played but 6 years. Now, for Dak's career, he's played in 85 games. 53 and 32 is his QB record, which isn't bad. Mainly, he's beating garbage teams. 67% completion rating. 22,083 yards he's thrown for. Yards per average he's thrown is 8, 143 touchdowns to 50 INTs. So yeah, he's way past and throwing touchdowns because Dak's more of a pocket pure passer than Vick was. Vick could scramble a lot better than he could. Now, all right, let's look at his first year. 16 games played and started, 13 and 3 QB record. He threw the ball at a 68% completion rate, which was 311 completions out of 459 attempts. He threw for 3,000 yards, 3,667, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He had a QB rate of 105, which is good. He was only sacked. I don't go by QBR, guys. I go by the QB rate. The QB rate tells you about the quarterback. The QBR is basically a way for them to gather all the stats, touchdowns, interceptions, rushing. They did all that so they could control the person's market. They did it because they could mess with the numbers and the stats, and they could screw somebody on the deal. You guys didn't know that, did you? Now, he was sacked 25 times. He had MVP, AP. He won the Rookie of the Year award. He had 5 fourth quarter comebacks, 5 game-winning drives. Now, his second year, he started in 16 games, played 16 games. He went 9 and 7, 308 completions of 490 attempts. His percentage dropped some. He was at 63%, 3,324 yards, 22 touchdowns, to 13 interceptions. So his interceptions went up. His QB rating was 87. And game-winning drives, he had 4, but he had 0 fourth quarter comebacks. Now, in 2018, he went 10 and 6, played in 16 games, started 16 games, threw 356 times, and he completed 356. His attempts were 526. His completion percentage was 68, so it went right back up. He threw for 3,885, which was pretty good. 22 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And his QB rate was a 97, which ain't bad. That's good. He was sacked 56 times. Previous year, he was sacked 32 times. That is not good. That means that your quarterback is not getting protected. And he had 0 fourth quarter comebacks and 0 game-winning drives. He got hurt, of course, in 2020. Let's go to last year. He went 11 and 5. He played 16 games, started 16, 410 completions out of a 596 attempts. His completion percentage was 69. He threw for 4,449 yards. Did I miss a season? No, no, my bad. The other season where he went 8-8, he was 388 for 596. That was the completion rate. That's how many passes he completed. Attempted 596. He threw for 65%, so he went down 4,902 yards. He had 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, which isn't bad statistically wise. QBR, not QBR. QB rate was 100. He had 100 QB rate. And he had 0 fourth quarter comebacks and 0 game winning drives. So Dak mainly was, putting up stats, but his team wasn't doing well. And in 2021, he played 16 games. Game started. Because remember, 2020, he got hurt after 5 games. He went 11-5 in 2021, 410 completions out of 596 attempts, 69 completing percentage, which is good. Went up again. 4,449 yards he passed, 37 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, which is statistically his best year. This is his best year, was last year. QB rate, he was 104. Fourth quarter comebacks, he had 2 game winning drives. So now rushing, he really wasn't a big rusher. 57 for 282, 57 for 357, 75 rushing attempts for 305 yards, 52 for 277 yards. His fumbles were 9, 4, 12, 6. Then his last year he had 14 fumbles, and then he rushed 48 times for 146 yards. So, I mean, look, this is up to you, but from what I see from overall passing so far, he's played in 85 games, started 85 games. His record as a QB is 53-32, which isn't bad. Completions and attempts overall 1,924 to 2,889 attempts, which is good. That's 67%. He's thrown for 22,000 yards and 22,083 yards, excuse me. 143 touchdowns to 50 interceptions. And his rate is a 99. So he has a QB rate of 99, which isn't bad, but this is a different league now. Fourth quarter comebacks for the whole career, he has 10. Game-winning drives, he has 17. Now, Michael Vick, if we just look, I'm just looking at the 6 years in Atlanta. I don't want to go to Philly, New York, and all that. Played a longer career. Now, let's see. Okay, in Atlanta, his 6 years in Atlanta, he played in 74 games to 67 started. So Dak is more durable. QB record was 38, 28, and 1. Dak has a better QB, more wins, than Vick had. Completions and attempts, he had 930 completions to 1,730 attempts, which is 54%. Total yards, he had 11,505 in his first 6 years. So like I said, Dak is the better pure passer. But the more impactful, the better overall quarterback was Michael Vick. 71 touchdowns, the 52 picks. So Dak was better in that department. The QB rate, remember, there wasn't QBR until the 2006. Before that, it was just QB rating. He had 76 as a QB rate compared to Dax. I think Dax in the 80s. Fourth quarter comebacks, Vick had 6, and then he had 8 game-winning drives. So in my opinion, Vick was more clutch, was a lot more clutch to me than Dak. Now let's look at the rushing. In Atlanta, He was a better rusher. I'm not even gonna do that because he was a better rusher of the ball than Dak. So that's what I'm saying. Like this is dumb. Like these two guys should not be compared. They're two different quarterbacks, two different styles. But if I had to choose, I'm choosing Michael Vick. Michael Vick was more impactful, and Michael Vick won more in the big games than Dak has. Dak has yet to prove that he can win the big games. You know, so it is what it is. So we'll see, man. We'll see what goes on, you know. Thank you guys, man, for listening, loving the videos, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. That Arrow Spence video, I'm going to try to get it out today. I most likely won't be able to get it out today. I'll probably do it another day. I'm just bombarded with a lot of stuff, but it's really not a big thing. I just wanted to go in on these Errol Spence fans because they're acting like he didn't try to do a deal with Canelo to try to not do the Bud fight. So we're gonna talk about that. We'll probably talk about it tonight during the live stream. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this, hit that notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you guys love what you hear, you guys can go to my description box. You know what I'm saying? The description box, and you can hit that Cash App link, and you can donate whatever your heart's desire. We take $1. Like if you guys donate $1 a day, man, that'll help out tremendously. That's all I'm asking for is $1. You know what I'm saying? And then we got the super chat, and we also got the super thanks. Shout out to Ryan Gilliam, man, for the super chat last time, and True Emperor and everybody who did it. Rakim the Great for the Cash App. All of you guys make the page go. So thank you guys for listening. We out. Deezy.